Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it away. Tonight, we gonna let it away. Tonight, we gonna let it away. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it away. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it away. Tonight, we gonna let it away. Tonight, we gonna let it away. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it away.
Hey guys, welcome in, welcome in. How's everybody doing today on this fine Sunday afternooner? Yeah, it is afternoon. Don't have my watch on. I keep looking at my wrist. My watch is being charged right now. But welcome in everybody. Hopefully you guys are having a great weekend. Hopefully it's nice where you are. It is not very nice here today. It's going to be like thunderstorms, flood warnings, all those things, but we won't have an actual like flood like we've seen on, TV. It's just a flood warning, which I shouldn't take that for granted, I guess, right? Because I think that's kind of how everyone else is, their little, like, how they gathered all theirs was through rain. So I don't think we're going to have that much rain, though. It always says we're going to have a lot, and then we never end up We never end up having it. So. But welcome in. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is Tanya or TitaniumBuilt. And if you're new to the channel, let us know where you're from in the chat. We'd love to know. Also, if you are new and you want to become a member, I'll post the link in the chat. Or if you're not new and you want to become a member, I'll post the link in chat and I'll pin it at the top here in just a moment for you guys. So thank you for being here. We're going to read through we're on part 5 of our book and we're like 76% done with it. And I just realized today, I was like, wait, we got to get done with this book before sentencing. So I think we'll be good though. I think we'll get done with the book right before sentencing. And then after that, we'll have more documents to go through and then we'll start reading those. So welcome in, baby girl. Hey, Ashley. Hey, Cuff You. Hey, Shell. Thanks for being here today. I appreciate it. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Catherine. Hey, Legal Lacey. I just followed you on Twitter or X. I'll never get it right. Hey, Mandy. I'm glad that you like the intro song. I like it too. I like our other intro song on our second channel too. I'm digging that song. I might have to listen to that just to listen to it. I think it's a good song. Hey, Ashley. Hey, Sirius. Ashley said something about vacuuming I saw earlier. That was me before the live. I was cleaning. You had floods in DC yesterday? Oh, man. I live in, like, the valley, so I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. That's probably not a good thing. Hey, Crystal. I don't know if I said hey to you or not yet. Yeah, yep, we're getting there, we're getting there. Hey, Sirius. Hey, Electro, thank you, I appreciate that. Really? So I know I need to get better on, like, um, scheduling my lives. I feel like sometimes that's, like, what it is. Because when you go to schedule a live in, hey, Paige. Oh, thank you. When you go to schedule a live in StreamYard, it'll say, like, just say, like, you're going to do the time. It'll say, like, if it's say it's 12 o'clock, it'll have, like, 2 o'clock already, like, scheduled in there. And so what I think is it wants you to go live at that certain time or, like, after that time. That way it can get out the alerts. I don't know. I'm trying to figure this YouTube stuff out. This stuff is so crazy. This stuff is so nuts. You wouldn't even believe. You wouldn't even believe. I actually somebody right now, which I'm fighting them on it, is trying to strike my video because of a 2-minute clip out of an hour and a half live. And we commentated over it. I don't know which clip it was, but I know that we commentated over it. We commentated over everything that night. We commentated over everything in here. But yeah, so I'm like, are you kidding me? 2 minutes? 2 minutes. Can't I just, like, trim it out? They wouldn't even give me that option. Trim it out. Normally they will, but they didn't. So let's go ahead and get into things. Hey, Lacey. I was just waiting to see if we get some people coming in here. I'm not sure if anyone else is live. My live tab is, like, non-existent anymore. I went through and I like cleaned my, like, my page up or whatever, my subscribers or subscriptions, and it's just crazy. Like, I'm like, I have nobody on my live tab anymore. They're all gone. Everybody's gone. Okay, so I'm going to pin this at the top, and then we'll go ahead and we're going to start on our book. So let me get that book. And this is getting good. I mean, it's been good, but it's really good. Oh, actually, let me pull it up. There we go. It's so weird how you have to, like, to get the book in front of the screen, you have to, like, it's kind of like playing a game with it. Okay. And let me know if you guys have read any parts of this book. If you haven't, you necessarily don't have to have read any of this book in order for you guys to know what's going on, if that makes sense. And let me see if I put myself. I was trying to see, like, which, just like what kind of setups I don't even know what I have on here. Maybe that will be good. We'll see. If not, I'll make me smaller. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Monchichi. Hey, welcome in, everybody. If I missed you, I'm sorry. And we're just now getting started. We're on page on this book, because this is different, like, because it's larger print, 655 pages I've read to you guys so far on this one. So, and there's 64 pages left in this chapter. That's not right. That must be, like, the whole part. But yeah, so today we're going to read, I believe it's like chapters 102 through, like, 114, something like that. So actually, let me double check really quick. Just for my, like, so I know for myself how, like, close we're getting to the end. Okay. Yeah. So it looks like, yep, chapter 114. And you know what I think I'm going to do? All the books that I get, because I get gifted books by, like, true crime lullabies, especially, a lot. And I love books. I love reading, like, mysteries. I think I'm going to put, like, some sort of bookshelf somewhere and put all these books on them, like, take the covers off and make it look really cute. So be looking for that after I make Vincent build it. So chapter 102, Priest Lake, Idaho, December 29th, 2022. It's late after 10:30 p.m. and the Chapins are headed to bed. Stacy is showering, then Jim hears her phone ring. He looks at the caller ID. He knows something big must have happened for Tyson Barrett to be calling so late. Stace, you need to come and get this, he yells. Stacy comes out and hears from Barrett that they have just arrested a guy named Bryan Kohberger. She and Jim go to Hunter and Macy's bedrooms and tell them the news. That night, for the first time in weeks, Jim Chapin sleeps well. They all do. Kohberger's arrest can't bring Ethan back, but Maisie and Hunter are headed back to UI in a few days, and Maisie was worried that whoever murdered Ethan was still around campus lurking. Stacy and Jim assured her that the UI campus right then was probably the safest in the country, but privately behind their closed bedroom door, they expressed to each other that maybe Maisie was right to be concerned. So the fact that police have arrested someone comes as a huge relief. They have no idea what his connection to Ethan is, and they are not interested in finding out. The bottom line is that their son is in a jar in their basement, and nothing can change that. But when Jim sees Kohberger's face on the news, weirdly, it resonates. And I remember hearing this part. Okay, so a lot of people had a problem with that, like that Ethan was in the basement. When they say Ethan's in the basement, I don't think they have a basement like maybe like some people do, where it's just like dark and gross, and maybe your like laundry's down there and you hate to even go down there to do laundry, but you have to. Like, it's not like furnished. I'm pretty sure their basement is probably furnished. It's probably their family room. That's what I would say. You know what I mean? You know, like sometimes if you have like a basement, that's where like you go and you do all your family room, and it's like your family time, like watching TV and doing all that kind of stuff. And then your other living room's like more for guests, I guess you would say. I think it's a family room. Yeah. I just know I just heard a couple of people mention that, and I just wanted to be like, no, I think that it's just like their family room. So it says, he just looks like a bad guy. The long drawn face, he just fit the picture that I had in my mind, he said later. Jim is glad they got him. He wants this guy to pay, and he feels certain that he will no matter what happens next. Stace will shoot me for saying this, but there's 3 ways you can look at it. He's either going to go to jail for life, or he's going to be put to death, or he's going to walk out the front door. And I'm okay with any one of them, because the outcome for him is going to be the same. What he means is that Kohberger is not likely to survive even if he gets off. This is Idaho after all. You really think Steve Goncalves, Jim asked months later with a weary smile, is going to sit back while he walks around freely? The answer is no. Jim, you're throwing him under the bus. Jim just threw Steve under the bus. He was like, do you think? He's like, Stacy's going to kill me for saying this, but do you think that Steve, like, kind of like he's gossiping? I love this. I don't know why I just love this so much. Because it's Jim, you know, and he's always so quiet and reserved. I don't know. But that is the truth. But that's pretty funny. Like that. Just because it's, you know, I mean, it's just making me laugh because it's like, it's because it's Jim. I wish I could hear that for myself. That would be pretty funny. But I do agree with that. And Steve Jr. too. I mean, so chapter 103, Rathrum, Idaho, December 29th, 2022. There's relief for the Goncalves family too, of course, after Tyson Barrett tells them the news. Tomorrow is the joint memorial for Kaylee and Maddie. Now the family can focus on the service without the fear that the murderer is watching. They have no idea what the connection could be between the girls and the guy the police have captured, this criminology PhD student at WSU. And what's the deal with WSU? How and why did the school protect him if he'd been the menace he seemed to be on social media? Steve hears from Olivia, who is plugged into social media, about all the red flags Kohberger exhibited. Students started posting them once the arrest was made public. The more he learns, the angrier he gets. Just because this was a school environment, it seems to him, this guy, Steve doesn't like to say his name, got protections he would not otherwise have had. WSU hasn't published any of the disciplinary problems the school faced with Kohberger. Steve Goncalves isn't going to stop with his own investigation just because they got him in custody. Half of the stuff that I found and dug up on him, and that shit hasn't come out, and it pisses me off. They've really clammed up, he said. Steve plans to keep up the pressure on the prosecution the same way he did on the cops. He's going to search the dark web for any piece of data he can find. He's going to look for this guy's cell records, his social media post. He's going to leave no digital stone unturned. And he's an IT, so I wouldn't doubt it. Steve wants to make sure, absolutely sure, that Bill Thompson gets a conviction. Anything less would not be serving Kaylee. Chapter 104, Pullman, Washington, December 30th, 2022. Journalist Evan Ellis is live on air that Friday when he sees a text from Chief Fry, holding a press conference at 1 p.m. There are many press conferences held by the Moscow PD these days, so Ellis doesn't pay much attention. This was a mistake, he later realizes, because the chief had never given him a heads up about any of those. Ellis is still on air when the news breaks in Pennsylvania. It's a leak. Agents there have arrested Bryan Kohberger, a WSU criminology PhD student. Oh shit, Ellis thinks, experiencing a rare feeling of shock. The murderer had been walking among them. He needs to report. If Kohberger was at WSU, he's been living in Pullman. And if he's been living in Pullman, the Moscow team is going to be raiding his apartment right around now. Ellis has phoned a source in law enforcement and asked where in the area he might bump into out-of-state authorities executing a search warrant. The source tells him, I'd go to the Steptoe Village apartments. Ellis arrives just as the raid is getting started and records it for his Facebook page. But even as he clocks the scene in front of him, his mind is racing to what comes next. Based on his experience, he fears that the administration at WSU, his alma mater, will go into communications lockdown. My wife works there and she shows me some of the crap that WSU sends out internally, which is do not say anything, do not talk to anybody, this is not happening, you're not talking. And of course, they can't prevent people from doing it, but they're extremely vindictive up there and everybody is scared. Ellis and the WSU Vice President of Marketing and Communications, Phil Weiler, have long had a contentious relationship. I fight with WSU on a weekly basis, he said, about hiding information and shutting out the taxpayers. It's completely disgusting and sad, but WSU has been doing it for years. Today is no different, he thinks. In fact, it's worse. Evan phones Weiler. He texts him. He emails nothing. At noon, the school issues a statement. Law enforcement officials in Pennsylvania have arrested Bryan Christopher Kohberger, a Washington State University graduate student, in connection with the quadruple homicide that took place in Moscow, Idaho in November. On behalf of the WSU Pullman community, I want to offer my sincere thanks to all of the law enforcement agencies that have been working tirelessly to solve this crime, said Elizabeth Chilton, Chandler of the WSU Pullman campus and WSU provost. This horrific act has shaken everyone in the Palouse region. We also want to extend our deepest sympathies to the families, friends, and Vandal colleagues who are impacted by these murders. We will long feel the loss of these young people in the Moscow Pullman community and hope the announcement today will be a step towards healing. This morning, the Washington State University Police Department assisted Idaho law enforcement officials in the execution of search warrants at Mr. Kohberger's apartment and office, which are both located on the WSU Pullman campus. WSU police are working closely with local, state, and federal law enforcement officials as they continue their investigation. Kohberger had completed his first semester as a PhD student in WSU's criminal justice program earlier this month. Ellis thinks this isn't good enough. Where is the transparency, accountability for hiring Kohberger? Any apology? He posted a Facebook video that afternoon in which he repeats Weiler's name 3 times for effect. We have reached out multiple times to WSU spokesman Phil Weiler for information on Kohberger as a WSU student. Phil Weiler has failed to return any emails, texts, or calls in regard to this arrest of a WSU student, doctoral student in criminology. And any more information from WSU on the suspect has been denied at this point, with no response from Mr. Phil Weiler, the spokesman at Washington State University. He later tells his listeners that part of his frustration with the college is based on history that goes back 2 decades. I got my drink. Hey, True Crime Lullabies. Hey, Cherie. I was just talking about you. I'm gonna do like a bookcase, I think, somewhere, and like, because I have 3 books over there. I'm gonna put like all my books and stuff that people get me on the wall. It'll be a good idea. Then everyone can see how cute they are. Hey, Tammy. And welcome in, everybody that I missed. We just started. We're only like a few chapters in. So we're reading, was it part 5? And it's called Blame Game. And they're talking about Bryan Kohberger's arrest and the warrants right now. So Bryan Kohberger is not the first high-profile criminal connected to the WSU Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology. On Route 270 between Moscow and Pullman, Evan tells his listeners there's a road sign commemorating 3 WSU fatalities in 2001, A 22-year-old student, Frederick Russell, was charged with the vehicular homicide of 3 WSU students and of injuring 4 others in a horrific crash on that highway. Fred was drunk at the time. His father, Gregory Russell, was the head of the Criminal Justice Department. Fred was arrested, but 3 days before he was due to stand before a preliminary hearing, he escaped, accompanied by a WSU criminal justice graduate student and Russell's family friend. He spent 6 years on the lam and was featured on the U.S. Marshal's Most Wanted list before being captured in Ireland. Damn, he went all the way to Ireland from Moscow. That's a jump. Evan doesn't hide his disgust. This is how deep it goes with that dumpster fire of an institution that I went to, he said. As it happens, the mayor of Pullman, Glenn Johnson, who is a regular on Evan's show and a friend of his, also knows the story of the Russells. Mayor Johnson, who holds a master's degree in journalism and a PhD in mass communication, shares Evan's frustrations with WSU's stonewalling. That the school where he taught classes in subjects like television news and communications management for 35 years before becoming mayor employed the guy arrested for the Moscow murders is a bridge too far, he thinks. Something needs to happen at that school. Something needs to change. So when he finds himself at an emergency meeting with WSU Chandler Elizabeth Shilton, he says, "Elizabeth, in case you haven't been told, this is the second time there's a bad story coming out of WSU Criminal Justice Department." He figures she probably does not know about the Russells because she's new. She started in January 2022. So the point is, he says in conclusion, this, he means Kohberger, is the second black eye for the WSU Criminal Justice Department. He adds with a flourish, "You only have 2 eyes." That's true. Chapter 105, Pullman, Washington, December 30th, 2022. In fact, the Washington State University administration is in total meltdown. Inside Wilson Short Hall, phones are ringing off the hook as the news of Kohberger's arrest spreads like wildfire. Professor Snyder is bombarded with calls, so too is Professor Willits. The last people either one wants to engage with right now are members of the media. Willits is distraught. It was he who admitted Kohberger. A day or so later, he runs into a WSU chief of police, Gary Jenkins, in the corridor, and Willits almost... Oops. Shoot. I lost the book. It's been behind my page. And then I went off a page. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Gary Jenkins says, a day or so later, he runs into the WSU chief of police, Gary Jenkins, in the corridor, and Willits almost collapses. He was ready to break down, Jenkins said. He said, "I just feel horrible. I'm the one who accepted him in this program, so he felt responsible." As Evan Ellis predicted, the administration mandate, don't give interviews, comes down very quickly from on high to the faculty and to the students in the Department of Criminal Justice. That's the message in the email that Ben Roberts and the other members of Kohberger's cohort received from WSU administration. Ben and the others are in transit back to Pullman after the holiday break when they receive the email, which is shortly followed by a bombardment of emails and calls from the media. Kohberger's class list is on WSU's website for a further 24 hours before the department takes it down, citing privacy. The students immediately reach out to one another, torn between shock and disbelief. What had they missed? And worse, as advanced students of criminal minds, how had they missed it? I can't think of a group of people who would be better positioned to see this sort of behavior and red flags associated with it in their mind or in their own ranks, Ben said, and we just completely didn't see it. Several of them struggle with the idea that Kohberger was just there in their midst, sharing office space and classes. It's one thing to study criminology from the relative safety of academia's ivory tower, Ben said, but it's quite another to have a quadruple homicide on your doorstep. So when the graduate students arrive on campus, WSU administrators are ready for them. There's a meeting attended by staff and students in which they will learn they will receive psychological support from counselors loaned out by Gary Jenkins' police department. It's much needed. The group feels not only blindsided by what happened, but betrayed. And the curt answers they get from the faculty in the meetings don't help much. We entered into criminology because we want to make the world a better place, Ben said. There's a general interest, not really in taking the reins of power, but in figuring out how those reins of power can affect people and how you can service the system to be better. And so when you see someone run off and do the exact opposite of that and make the world a very, very dark and ugly place for somebody. It sort of really is the ultimate betrayal of everything that I think a criminology program stands for. Making things worse in that group is now under siege on campus. Journalists pose as students. The cohort winds up locking their offices because random strangers mill around holding out their phones wanting a quote. The cohort locks down. They decide that to protect the member's sanity and for practical reasons of getting on with their work, they'll follow the case and they'll talk to investigators when they inevitably come to question them. But they no longer want to discuss Bryan Kohberger, even amongst themselves. It's like really raining out there, I think. Let me check the weather real quick. That's crazy. I could hear some like thunder and some stuff. Yeah, it's thunderstorming. Chapter 106, Moscow, Idaho, December 30th, 2022. Dean of Students Blaine Eccles gets up at around 6 a.m. and sees he missed a call from Captain Tyson Barrett the night before at around 11. It's rare that he misses phone calls. Usually his wife, Shelley, gets the phone if he can't, but they'd both fallen asleep. He texts the police officer, "Hey, Tyson, what's up?" Before he gets a response, he sees a news flash. Moscow PD is holding a press conference. They've arrested a suspect in Pennsylvania. He attends Washington State University. Eccles feels like a huge weight just lifted off him. Once we learned that the alleged perpetrator wasn't from our community, that was such a relief, he said. Just knowing what it meant for our students, I knew they'd feel more secure. He texted Jenna Hyatt, the dean of students at WSU. In the week since the murders, he's gotten to know Jenna well. The outreach he's received from her has been so overwhelming that he's ashamed that UI hasn't done more for other campuses in tragic times. She sent counselors to man the UI counseling center so that the UI team could attend the vigil. She sent care packages galore. He considers her a good friend. So now he texts her sympathizing. The tidal wave that just hit our campus is about to hit you. Whatever she needs, he wants to help. That's nice. Chapter 107, Moscow, Idaho, December 30th, 2022. Lexi Patterson, daughter of local lawyer Mike Patterson, is pissed. She's on TikTok on her phone watching all these videos that WSU students are making about Bryan Kohberger. Apparently the guy was a TA. He was hired by WSU. Oh, shit. My hand just like went crazy. Okay. Sometimes my fingers they just go. Sorry. WSU has a reputation locally for hiding bad news. Lexi knows a lot about this because her mom works there, so she's heard the stories. Their hazing is much worse than others, she says, explaining that WSU's Greek life, unlike the University of Idaho's, is not regulated by the Interfraternity Council. 3 weeks before Kohberger's arrest, 19-year-old WSU student Luke Tyler dies in his bed a suicide after being badly hazed, and the school does not issue any statement. Lexi's mom tells her that the staff is very, very upset. She can see on TikTok that Kohberger's former students are talking about all the red flags. His harsh grading of women, his rude remarks to women in class, his aggression, his stalking of someone, his social difficulties. So where is the statement from WSU about the school's role in this? He was their hire, a teacher, a TA, Lexi said, after learning about Kohberger's past disciplinary problems. They haven't even addressed that aspect, and I think that's discussing that, and that reflects a lot on the community. I know my mom and people that work there were pissed. Her mom will wind up leaving. The only silver lining, and it's a very, very thin one, is that Kohberger's arrest removes a question mark Lexi had about the possible role of someone she knew to Moscow High of someone she went to Moscow High School with, Emma Bailey. Emma lived near the King Road house and would months later face drug-related charges in connection with the suspicious death of another UI student. Prosecutors dismissed the case. When the vandal alert went out about the unconscious person and then Lexi heard about the murder, she was worried that drugs and Emma were involved. But when she learned it was a knife attack and that drugs were not involved, she stopped suspecting Emma. When Lexi sees all the stuff floating around on TikTok about Kohberger and his strange behavior, she's relieved that he's not from Moscow. Even so, as she looks around at the enhanced police presence and the way everyone now locks their cars and doors at night, she realizes that the imprint Kohberger made on Moscow is going to last for a very long time. People think they know how it'll affect our town, she said, but they don't. It isn't the same. We lock our doors, all of our car doors. Our little town isn't as safe as we thought it was. And in her mind, WSU is primarily to blame. Chapter 108, Montana, December 30th, 2022. We're going to Montana. Moscow's mayor, Art Buttigieg, is spending the holidays in his off-the-grid cabin in northwest Montana, and one morning there's an unexpected knock on the door. It's one of his neighbors. She tells him there's been an arrest in the case. Wait, ain't got a TV up there? Buttigieg treks with her to her cabin to borrow her Starlink internet connection. He contacts the city council and gets a sneak peek at the arrest and extradition documents. He immediately understands why it took a few weeks for investigators to get Kohberger's DNA. The public does not realize how long DNA analysis takes and believe results should be available in TV crime show timeframes, he said. In my day job as a food scientist, biochemist, I know better. He quickly gets up to speed on Bryan Kohberger. Thank God the guy is from Pullman and not from Moscow, Buttigieg thinks. And where the hell has Pullman been on this anyway? Have they not been out looking for an Elantras? That was out in the public. And as far as WSU, he thinks this comes as a tricky juncture. The school has lost its footing and the common view in the area. Put my glasses on. Really? Maurice and DNA took 6 weeks. True on Lullabies, I love you for that. I used to watch all those shows. Remember when you'd stay home from school? Oh yeah, those were the best days. Best days. I always wanted to stay home from school. I always wanted to watch Unsolved Mysteries. Okay, where were we at? Okay, I think we're at the top. Yeah, I think that they've sort of forgotten why they're supposed to be here, Buttigieg said. You're a land-grant university, which means you should be primarily involved in research associated with agriculture, mining, forestry, issues like that. Instead of which, the school has focused on football, the athletic department, and has run up $20 million debt. And now the Pac-12 conference has been depleted because apart from Oregon State, all of the other schools have left. There are rumblings that the faculty is about to deliver a vote of no confidence in the administration. Buttigieg is going to sit back and watch this unfold with a little bit of okay, how you pronounce that? Schadenfreude? What the hell does that mean? Okay, we gotta look this up. What is this? How you spell that? SCHADENFREUDE. I have never heard that word a day in my whole life. So we got to just look that up. Oh, whoops. Just hit my microphone there. I had to spell it. I had to write it down so I could spell it. Pleasure deprived by somebody from another person's misfortune. Why would we put that in a book? Schadenfreude? Am I saying that right? Oh, wait. It'll tell me. Schadenfreude. I feel like it's another language. I don't know why I had the accent. I don't know why I put the accent on there, but I had to. Felt like I needed to. Okay. That's so crazy. Wait, where the heck did my book go? There we go. It is thundering up a storm out there. Schadenfreude. Okay, I think it's Freude. I think I'm saying it wrong, but okay. There's a lot of connectivity for obvious reasons between Moscow and Pullman. They share an airport and an aquifer, but also an unspoken rivalry. After all, they are different states. Each houses a different university. It's a source of pride to the Muscovites that many people who work in Pullman live in Moscow, even though it means they have to pay the 5.8% Idaho state income tax. Washington has no income tax. Washington, I'm going to come live. I'm coming to live. Baby girl, got an extra room? I know that these are called Moscow people, but Moscovites, I don't know, believe Moscow has a community spirit, a downtown with lots of bars and restaurants, and that Pullman, situated as it is on 4 hills, does not. You go to Pullman at lunch, noontime, things are happening. Go back at around 6:30 or 7 o'clock at night. It's like tumbleweeds are blowing gently down the streets. That sounds like the town that I grew up in. My mom used to say they roll up the streets at 6 o'clock or something like that, she'd say. Did you guys hear that? That's thunder. That's crazy thunder. Hey, Terminus Null. Wow, it's bad out there. Sorry. Okay, what's the difference between Pullman and yogurt? The answer is that yogurt has live culture. Bettage says that the sudden switch in focus will turn out to be costly for Pullman. I don't know why, but WSU and Pullman were both completely and utterly unprepared for the attention to shift in their direction, Bettage said. They were caught flat-footed. You can come hang with me, Mia. You hear the storm? I know. It's crazy, isn't it? My dog came to stand by me. So, chapter 109, Parida Adventurous, Mexico. I don't speak Spanish. That's, what I don't do. December 30th, 2022. Emily Lant comes down to the kitchen in her pajamas. Hunter Johnson and her parents are already sitting there talking. They found him, her mom says, and she hands Emily her phone. Emily looks at the photo. She's never met this guy. She and Hunter feel certain that neither had Xana or Ethan. Josie and Lyndon check in, and it turns out they never met him either. It's mystifying. Josie immediately searches for Bryan Kohberger on Instagram, but she's too late. If he had a real footprint there, it's gone. But there's a plethora of fake accounts. She even gets a DM from one of them. Hey, it's Bryan. Sorry for killing your friends. Oh my God, that's so messed up. Whoever did that, I hope that karma comes back and bites you in the ass. I hope it already did. Like, after you sent that message, I hope you broke your leg or something. I'm sorry, but that's terrible. That is like a Rex Heuermann thing. You know what I mean? Crazy. That's crazy. Sorry I killed your friends. Yeah, I hope you, when they say break a leg, I meant that. She even gets a DM. Although she's heard the news she's been hoping for, Emily doesn't feel the emotional release she's expected to. Although there was someone arrested, there's no fear that they've left my body. There was no fear, that left my body, she said. She doesn't really believe it can be this guy, some random stranger. It's the one possibility. Damn, my finger keeps messing. I need to get away from that arrow. It's the one possibility she hadn't thought about. Why would someone unconnected to any of her 4 friends have murdered them? That's the question we want to answer too. Just like everyone else out there, she said she expected it to be someone they knew. Over and over again, she reconstructs the events of that night, this guy entering the house, and replays them in her mind. Why Xana? Why did he ignore Dylan? I haven't wondered a million times over why he walked away and didn't look in the other rooms. If Xana and Ethan, if Maddie and Kaylee, why not the rest? She said. I also just try to keep a positive mindset and say, thank God, not the rest. Chapter 110, Lehigh County, Pennsylvania, December 30th, 2022. It's crazy, like this, not Monroe, but Allentown is like right there, and that's where I believe my father was from. Yeah, Allentown. My dad was that's my dad. My mom. I'm trying to think of what my mom's where she was from. I was born in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, so like right there. Right. I mean, like, in Pennsylvania, like closer to Philadelphia, though. Josh Ferrero is on edge waiting for the news. Last night, Grace, a friend he works with at the Swim Zone, a local pool, told him that her dad was part of the state police team staking out the home of the suspect in the Idaho 4 killings. She tells him that it's a former DeSales student. Josh is shocked. He went to DeSales. He studied criminal justice, then spent 3 years as a corrections officer. So he feels like he has more understanding than the average person about why people commit serious crimes. The people he's seen locked up, they look like average Joes. They are average Joes, in fact, for most of their lives. But underneath, there's an itch. And these people spend their lives waiting for the chance to scratch it. They put themselves in places where the opportunity is readily available. On December 9th, for the heck of it, Josh made a TikTok video suggesting the profile of whoever did this is a single male between the ages of 20 and 30, that's because he theorized Moscow was a college town and the suspect would need to blend in. Yeah, I said that I thought it was somebody, I don't remember what age. I don't think I had an age. Maybe I did. I think I said I thought it was someone a little bit older. Somebody that would blend in. And I thought I was a little off, but I thought it would be somebody that was like close enough to like blend, like to watch them, right? But not be like noticed by other people. And I guess that's kind of true. But I thought maybe it was like a neighbor, but not like a neighbor, like someone further out, right? I guess it's kind of true too. But I didn't know an age. I didn't think an age. But I thought maybe they got the pin lock from like, just like the girls just being like, "Hey, you want to come party?" Like I thought maybe he had like this person had a girlfriend or something to where like he didn't seem like as a threat. That's what I just assumed. I was like, this like something made him not seem like he's a threat. Well, being an introvert, that would make you seem like you're not a threat. Still, when the face and name of Bryan Kohberger flashed on his TV screen, he's taken aback. Something about the name rings a bell, but that face, he doesn't remember that face until he checks his phone and sees old emails. Oh shit, he says, it's the ghost, his lab partner on a biology project. The strange guy who showed up promptly for classes, then vanished into his car and drove off to one of an assortment of jobs. The guy who didn't speak to anyone except the professors, who occasionally hung back to talk to professors Ramsland and Bolger. When Josh last saw the suspect's face, it was fuller, different. Josh is shocked. Nothing about Kohberger stands out in his memory as a red flag. Nothing. Quiet, yes. Strange, yes. Awkward, yes. But a murderer? There's just nothing to the guy except he was a good student, Josh said. He reaches for his phone and texts as many of his classmates as he can find. Does anyone remember anything peculiar about Bryan Kohberger? Anything that would indicate he turned into a mass murderer? They ask one another the same question. When they all look back, what did they miss? Chapter 111, Center Valley, Pennsylvania, December 30th, 2022. DeSales University professor Catherine Ramsland is deeply frustrated. As soon as the news breaks that the suspect arrested for the murders of the Idaho Four was once a student at DeSales, the university issues an edit to the faculty. No one who taught Bryan Kohberger is to say anything. So the expert in forensic psychology and extreme offenders finds herself in a truly ironic situation. She's the author of 72 books, more than 1,000 articles, and a Psychology Today blog called Shadowboxing, the tagline for which is a blog that probes the mind's dark secrets. And yet she's not allowed to write or talk about the one murder case she has personal knowledge of and for which she may or may not be called to testify, the case involving her former student, Bryan Kohberger. She's just itching to write about this guy, Her inbox and voicemail are cluttered with endless media requests that she has to decline. She reads media reports describing her class like her psychological sleuthing class in the crime scene house where she staged murder scenes using dummy bodies and fake blood and asked the students to act as detectives. She reads recollections of Kohberger as one of the better students, someone who evidently wanted to impress Ramsland by reading her books, including her most well-known Confessions of a Serial Killer about Dennis Rader, the BTK killer, and articles discussing her class, including her course on spree murders like Elliot Rodger. Her students tell the media they remember Kohberger dedicating himself to the assignments, in particular to Rodger's YouTube video, which was on the syllabus. Classmate Brittany Slavin remembered that he was so advanced that she once peeked at his paper when stuck on a test, knowing he'd have the correct answers. Brittany said they spent weeks learning from Ramsland via the acronym is PATHWARM, the characteristics that law enforcement should look for to detect a murderer in waiting. So 1, ideation; 2, substance abuse; P, purposelessness; A, anxiety; T, trapped; H, hopelessness; W, withdrawal; A, anger; R, recklessness; M, mood changes. What if Kohberger had copied Elliot Rodger? The character similarities were there all along. Ramsland's students tell the media they learned from Ramsland that psychopaths like Rodger and Rader are very hard to detect. Chad Petiprin, another student of Ramsland, said that he remembered Kohberger as a normal guy. Bryan sometimes mentioned going to church and Bible study, but when Chad asked him questions about the Bible, Bryan didn't always know the answer. But look at Dennis Rader and what Ramsland taught him. Peppertrin, I don't know how to say his name, said Rader had a son. He had a child. It's like he became a normal person for years. He could have been my church president until, that is, Rader went out and committed murder. Well, yeah, but he got caught because he sent a floppy disk to the police station. Sorry, I thought I heard something. So chapter 112, Saylorsburg, Pennsylvania, December 30th, 2022. That little prick, he was in my house all the damn time. When Mark Bayless sees Kohberger's image on the TV, he swears suddenly it all makes sense. If the guy is capable of murder, he's certainly capable of burglary. Well, he was charged with burglary, my friend. Bayless remembers Kohberger as clear as day, always lurking behind his son and nephew, never saying hello, staring into space. He had connected the dots at the time, but now he's sure of it. Bayless dials the local state troopers and asks them to reactivate the investigation into the series of break-ins he experienced all those years ago. He hadn't been able to figure out who was stealing items from his piecemeal, maybe up to 25 times, taking $30,000 worth of rare coins, jewelry, and knives from his house out in the woods. The worst of it all was that at the time he worried it was some of the homeless veterans his charity aimed to help. That was a shitty feeling. He known it had to be somebody who knew his property well, who could get close enough to watch the house and track his movements. Someone who had the time to sit out in the woods, crumpling up the Reese's peanut butter cup wrappings, dropping them on his land. You littered. How dare you? Litter bug. I hate when people litter. Just put them in your pocket. He just hadn't bothered to think about his son's Jack's friends. You know, my dad would have done. My dad would have, instead of because this guy didn't say anything to Kohberger, right? My dad would have offered him a Reese cup. That's what my dad would have done. Like, I know that you did something. Like, that's what my dad would have done. It says he just hadn't bothered to think about his son Jack's friends until now. This Kohberger guy was always around until he got into heroin, and then Jack had dropped him for a bit. So Mark asked the cops if this time they could do their job because he knows who was stealing from him. But it turns out it doesn't matter. The case is no longer in their system. It's too old. We can't do anything, they tell him. Mark's too busy to press further. Looks like the little prick is going to get his comeuppance anyway. Chapter 113, Effort, Pennsylvania, December 30th, 2022. Poor Marianne. All Connie Saba can think of when she sees the news about Bryan is his poor parents. All those struggles with Bryan, the arguments that he and Michael used to have on the phone when Bryan was in her house hanging out with her son, Jeremy. Marianne trying to protect Bryan from Jeremy. The silent breathing over Connie's phone after Jeremy died. Connie wants to believe the best, but she can't. She knows better than to phone Marianne. That woman is a closed book at the best of times. And this is not the best of times. Connie is going to pray for her. Yeah, we haven't seen her or anything out. No one's caught her out doing any yard work or anything. Her husband's been out. He's done some stuff a couple times, but not Michael, but not Marianne. So chapter 114, Moscow, Idaho, January 4th, 2023. The Suburban pulls into the garage. The steel door locks behind him. Bryan Kohberger walks down the 20 steps to the fluorescent lit dungeon that is the tiny underground Latah County Jail. Where I grew up, our jail was under the courthouse too. It was a state-of-the-art construction back in the 1972 when someone with a sense of humor scrawled outside the newly built booking room, "Welcome. Welcome to the Latah Hilton." Decades later, the graffiti was removed. Most of the inmates are there for the usual reasons: drugs, DUIs, domestic abuse, assault. Technically, the jail with a capacity of 38 inmates is too small to meet the state's legal requirements. There aren't enough rooms. The inmates are housed in a square around the inmates are housed in a square around the common areas. Kitchen, shower, and library. They're allowed just 1 hour a day combined to use the library and the 20 by 10 foot wired in exercise yard. There's nothing else to do except watch TV. It's a 24-hour cycle of boredom with the odd flash of excitement. In 1984, Leslie Raj, the gentleman robber who was being held for federal bank robbery, walked out aided by a map and a door opened by the jailer. He was not apprehended until 1996 in Guatemala. He's due to be let out in May 2034 at the age of 94. Yeah, you dying in there, buddy. 94. In 1992, William A. Davis, a twice convicted murderer, escaped from the exercise yard. He was captured after a manhunt lasting a month. Wait, did they say that guy just robbed the bank? being held for federal bank robbery. Well, federal bank robbery, I guess, but still, I mean, man, you've been there that long just for bank robbery? Aries, I've been thinking about you. Today's your birthday. Happy birthday, Aries. I've been thinking about you. Happy birthday. I hope you have a great day. I really do. I hope you have a great month. I hope you have a great year. I hope you have just the best. Happy birthday, Aries. So where were we here? I can't believe they have them in there for that long, man. So then in 1992, William A. Davison, a twice convicted murderer, escaped from the exercise yard. He was captured after a manhunt lasting a month. I mean, I guess he did, he went to Guatemala. So I guess that's probably why, The common shared cell for up to 8 people is not where Kohberger goes. Months later, a friend of Josie's and Lyndon's, who was drunk and booked there for the night, sees Kohberger in a cell alone per his maximum security status. Jail staff are not going to take a risk with him. Inmates have wives and children too. Sergeant Brennan Jordan, the deputy who was injured in a fatal shooting of Officer Lee Newbill, said, "What he did is out of a horror movie. In the prison world, there's status that comes with harming someone like him." The deputy's priority is to keep Kohberger alive. They need him to face the wheels of justice. Nobody, Jordan said, wants that fucked up. And no, they probably don't. Okay. Thanks for being here, everybody. If you guys don't mind, we just take a second and hit the like button. Helps the channel grow. And look, we already went through part 5. That was all of part 5. Wow, that was quick. That was quick. Let me see. That was way quicker than I thought. Let's see how big. We might do these in parts if the last few parts aren't like that long. Wait, okay. Should we do this one? Oh wait, that's part 6 is what we're on. Okay. Let me see how far to part 7. Probably come back and read it. It looks like it's pretty long. Yeah. Okay. Maybe we'll read a little bit of it. Is this the last part? I thought there was a 7 part. Wait. Yeah, I thought there was like. Okay, we're on part 6. I thought that there was like 7 parts to this. Like part 6, part 7. But maybe there's only 6 parts. If that's the case, it'd probably be done in a couple days. Yeah, it looks like. Yeah. So we have 359 to 433. So, man, I'm just debating. Well, yeah, we'll stop there. We have a few days, and then I'll be back tonight too, or later on. It might not even be that long. It might not be. I might not wait until like 9 or whatever. I might come back one a little bit earlier if you guys are going to be on the internet, because yeah. Does anybody have any questions? You're going to cut your hair, Ashley? Oh, that sounds like fun. It's storming here. I'm going to stay in here. Try not to go outside, I guess. It's like storming bad. Hey, Mary Beth. Oh, thank you for becoming a new member, Dawn. Welcome in. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you. Thank you for becoming a member. Yeah, 6 parts in the epilogue. Yeah, I thought there were 7 parts for some reason. Maybe they should have made a 7 parts. That's pretty long. It's a pretty long, like, last part. Hey, Tempest. Let me see if there's what's going on out there. Oh, why am I on this screen? Wait, what the heck happened? I've, like, not seen these documents in forever. Where did this page come from? Where are we right now? Is this real life? Like, I have tabs open that, like, I have not seen. Like, I have Luigi Mangione tab open. That's weird because I was just thinking of him. I was going to go over some stuff about him. And then I have, like, Sumner County up here. Where did this stuff come from? Okay. I don't know. That's weird. That was just like a bunch of tabs just opened. Let me see what I have down here. I have the Steptoe Apartments, pictures of the crime scene. Okay. I do kind of want to go back through Howard Bloom's, like, airmail articles, just see what he had correct, like what he didn't have correct. But we'll have to, we can always wait till after we get some of the discovery, because I think with the discovery, it's going to come out like little bits at a time, or maybe chunks at a time, because they're going to redact some things and, all of that stuff. So, yeah, with them having to redact and do all of that, it's going to take, I guess, a little bit of time to get out. Now, I'm wondering if they're going to hold all of it until they redact all of it and fix all of it and then put it out, or if they're going to do little at a time. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we got this page done, put it out. Got this done, put it out. I hope it's like that. You going on a date, you said? I may ghost him. That's funny. Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? Sounds like fun. And Mary Beth, amusement park sounds like fun if you like roller coasters. Not, But I am there. I am totally there to go to Kings Island and buy all of the ridiculous gear, like the hat, the visor, maybe like a poker visor, wear that around, like with the shirt, like the pink shirt that says Kings Island on it that you spent $80 in your firstborn child on. I would do that. My friends they took me to amusement park one time. They got me to go. Went to Cedar Point or something. Was it Kings Island? I don't know. It was one of the two. And my friend was like, if you get on the ride, I'll buy you the $40 t-shirt afterwards. And I was like, yeah, it ain't happening. Ain't happening. Is Aries still in here? Because Aries is like a roller coaster lover. He's a roller coaster extraordinaire. He knows all about them. He's actually like went to places just to ride roller coaster. Like, I mean, like, I think he's been far, like just to like go ride like a particular like roller coaster. Wear your Nikes. Yeah. I don't like roller coasters. I do not. I just don't like heights. My last girlfriend was a roller coaster. Christian. Some of us like to keep them on the toes, That's so funny. I'm just afraid of heights. Well, okay. So I think my thing with roller coasters and heights comes from my mother. Love her. But we went to Kings Island. And if you know anything about Kings Island, that they have a ride called the Beast. And it's a wooden roller coaster. Well, my mom's work, they all went there to like, they got together and they all went to Kings Island. And she puts me on the ride with her. And I'm like 7 or 8, probably. I was the skinniest child ever. Like, I mean, the skinniest child ever. Right. She puts me on the ride with her and there's like a lap bar, right? The lap bar goes down. So there's no, like you don't go like in a circle or anything. Don't go upside down. But my mom was looking at the ride beside us, which was the Vortex. I even remember these rides because this was so traumatic. She's looking at that ride and it's a metal ride. I don't know why she thought wooden ride's going to go to metal, but she did. She thought we were going to go onto a metal ride and then we were going to go up in this circle because she could see like circles. I've never heard a woman pray so hard in my life. She literally just held on to me and prayed and prayed and prayed. And then she traumatized me, traumatized the hell out of me. I never wanted to go on a roller coaster after that. I was like, I'm good. I'm cool. I think she didn't mean to get so scared. Like she thought because I was so small that I would just fall out. So she was just trying to hold me down and like she was praying and holding me down. And I was probably like, maybe I was, no, I was like 8 or 9, maybe 9, the oldest. I don't even think, no, I don't even think we lived in our house yet. I think I was below 8, below 9. So yeah, I'm just not cool with them. Yeah. Well, and then my mom, when we got off the ride, it looked like something had clawed her back. She was like, the beast got me. I mean, it really did. It looked like it was like gashes down her back. And I'm like, what is that? How'd that happen? Like you were holding me like this. Like, I don't know. She just busted out of her own skin trying to hold me. Look at this. The beast. Yeah. 137-foot vertical drop. Yeah. 53 degrees angle. Yeah. We did it. We did it. We went on it. And after that, I don't even know. She probably got me some ice cream and was like, just do whatever you want to do. She probably felt so bad. I never really went on roller coasters after that. I think I went on one for like on a boardwalk or something though. I saw that he got moved. I saw that. Well, they kept Chad Daybell there. I don't know. Maybe they'll keep him there. Only woman on a freighter than on a roller coaster. I just So I don't like heights. And where I used to work, they had the stupidest ladder. It was a ladder. I mean, it worked fine. It was fine, but it like wobbled a little, and you would always have to go up. And it was like a 16-foot ladder, I think, or 18-foot, 16-foot, or 18-foot. It was huge. It was so big. It was so tall, and I have to go all the way to the tippy top and get down like clocks. Huge wooden clocks that are like 50 pounds each. Like, why are we hanging these up here when you have somebody that's like, at the time I was like 115 pounds. I'm like, I ain't getting back up on that ladder. And there I'd have to get back. Like there we would, someone be calling me over. Can you get this down? Help me. And I'd have to be the one on the ladder. I hated that. I don't think I've ever been to a Six Flags. I could see you liking them, True Crime Lullabies. I just not, I don't even like little ladders, like little step ladders. And I think it's because I have one eye. So I get like I start doing this, I'm like, ooh. But even with one eye, I still got those clocks down. I miss that store being in the mall, actually. They took that out of the mall. I wonder if Vincent left. I'm going to go check. Watch, he probably did. And then I'll be like, oh, I should have stayed on the live. But yeah, I think I'm going to put like a bookshelf somewhere. I don't know. I could put one beside this, but then Vincent's chair comes out. And I have a gold basket right there. You can't even see it on the live, which I didn't really want you guys to see it because it's gold. It doesn't really go with the aesthetic. It's for Christmas when I have all my Christmas stuff out. We just couldn't fit it in our storage. I'm really tall, so heights don't scare me. See, I'm tall too. I'm 5'8". I think that's pretty tall anyway. Oh, carnival rides. No way. We ain't doing no, I ain't doing no damn carnival ride. The way them things are put together. Actually, I did do some. It was probably like 6 years ago. My friend's little boy, she was pregnant. And she's like, Jace really wants to go on some rides. And she's looking at me and I'm like, really? I'm like, okay, pack the kid up. Let's do this. Let's do this. So we went on them. We went on every single ride there, maybe twice. I was screaming. The kids weren't screaming. I was screaming. I was like, the kids are like, who's that? I'm like, shut up. Right, Ashley? You're from South Louisiana? I've never been to Louisiana, but I bet it's nice. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. You probably have a lot of carnival rides in Florida. Like a lot of places where they set up. I need to go see my aunt and uncle in Florida. I need to go visit them. I need to call them. I'll write that down. There's so many things I need to do. I haven't talked to him since my cousin passed away, and I'm surprised they're not worried about me. They probably are. They're probably wondering why I'm called them. You're only 5'3", Ashley? I pictured you taller. I don't know why. I pictured you like 5'5", 5'6". Not that much taller, but a little bit. Party in Tampa, yeah. I think they lived in Port Charlotte, but they moved. I don't know where they live now. But there's so many nice beaches where you could just white sand, and it's just nice down there. It's nice to go visit. It's different, I mean, you can it's literally you can wear whatever you want. When me and my cousin when she was alive, we went into a bar and I went straight in in a bikini because she took my cover up because it was raining and I was like, I hate you so much. I was like, but nobody cared. I was just sitting there, bright pink bathing suit. Here I am. Hello. You're 5'6", Mary Beth? I can picture that about that. Yeah. You look so cute in the clothes that you got from my store too. Oh, you look so cute. Mary Beth, I need to email you. So if you go on to Facebook, I don't know if you ever use Facebook, but if you go under Poppy and Ari on there, I have another part of my store that's just on Facebook. It's not on my website, and it's all my consignment. Basically, I worked at a boutique and I was in small, extra small the whole time I worked there. Like I was your size. And so like Mary Beth's like one of the only people I know that was like my size that could fit into these clothes. If you're a size 0 to like a 2, then this would work for you as well. Or an extra small. So I have some mediums, but not very many. And I just call it consignment, but I only wore it like one time to work for a few hours. And then I hung it in the closet, and that was the end of that. I just bought so many clothes when I worked there, and now I can't wear them. I want to get onto the weight to wear them again. But then again, I'm like, I don't know, that's pretty small for me. So, get on there and look, because there's some really, really, really cute stuff on there that you would look really good in. And I've been meaning to tell you, like you look so cute in all of it. I haven't been on there to post in a while, but there is some like pictures and stuff and everything. So descriptions and all of that. I've never even heard of Wrightsville Beach. Well, I'm going to jump off here. I'm going to get some stuff done around the house. Laundry. Me too. Sure, I used to be able to buy kids' clothes. That's how small I was. Yeah, me too. I used to wear extra large. My boyfriend was like, there's no way. We went into where I'm from one day, and instead of buying the $30 t-shirt that said Ohio on it, I'm like, I'm buying it in the youth. Because I have like literally 5 of them or 6 of them. And I have a large and extra large. I should go try one of those on. No, it would just be so sad. It would be so sad. But like, no, I used to be able to buy kids' clothes. I used to work at Crazy 8 when it was like opened, and it was a kids' clothes store. And I used to buy clothes from there. You buy youth too a lot? See, I can't fit in youth. I'm a medium, large, small, medium, large. I'm a weird weight. I can wear small, medium, or large. It just depends on how like tight I want it or how loose I want it. Like this shirt is a small, and this thing's huge. Girls large. See, man, you can get the cheaper clothes. I'm jealous of that. I'm like, Crazy Eddie. That sounds like a Crazy Eddie. That sounds familiar. Anyone care to go? Yeah, Legal Lazy used to be like we had the cutest little store whenever I worked there. Me and another lady was very OCD. And I don't know how she got me to fold those little clothes, those little 6 by 12, like, you know what I mean? Like the little 6 months, 6 to 12 months. Like, I don't know how I bet I could do it, but I could do it. Not as good as her though. I'll give her that. You buy youth shoes? Youth shoes. Oh, okay. True crime lullabies. No, that's just not fair. That's just not fair. You can buy any shoes then. Some of the, like, because you can get like, sometimes if you're in youth, you can do youth or women. And like, but if you do youth, they're cheaper. Man, see, that's smart. Y'all are smart. Smart. That's why I like y'all. Well, thank you for hanging out with me today. I'm going to jump off here. I will see you guys all later today sometime. I'll put it on the community tab whenever I'm going to do the live for tonight. And then we'll either read the book or we will get into something else, or maybe we could do like a combination live where we do like the book and we do something else as well. So I will see you guys all later today. Have a wonderful Sunday. Hopefully it's not storming like it is here where you're at. But before I get off here, I forgot to tell you guys, we have 2 eggs. I knew this for like a week and I keep forgetting to tell you. I have to show you a picture next time I'm live. Our pigeon came back, so we're now going to be the proud grandparents, great grandparents, I guess it would be. Because they'd be like one of those would be like our kids. Yeah, they'd be our grandkids. So there's going to be six grandkids. So yeah, we're the proud grandparents of six birds. So she has 2 eggs up there that she's been laying on. So we'll be having some baby birds soon. So I'll have some pictures for you guys. But thank you for being here, and I'll see you guys all tonight. Also tomorrow, all tonight. Have a good night. Bye.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how.